Wind. I'm sure we have heard enough about Wind over the last few days about how good she is, how good of a navigator she is, or otherwise known as Riko. And I'm going to go over what she does and how to use her, as well as how to build her. So, starting off with her abilities. So when we look at her skill 1, her Scatter Plum Blossoms, decrease all foes' defense by percentage for 2 turns, and when Riko's speed is at 100 or more, decrease defense by 4.9% for every 10 points of speed over 100%, up to a maximum of 29.4%. Of course, it goes up further, but I think it goes up to 31.6 when we have her A3. And then her skill 2, increase all foes' damage taken by percentage for 2 turns, and when an ally inflicts weakness damage with a skill or knocks down a foe, decrease cooldown time by 1. When cooldown time reaches 0, activate this skill. So cooldown time, 8 ally actions. So every time you do 8 ally actions where they're doing weakness damage or knocks them down, we can then just use Dreams of the Mist for free. Completely for free. And then lastly, her third skill, Vertical Petals, spend all intel stacks to grant fair winds to party for 1 turn and restore targeted allies' HP by percentage. What Fair Winds does, increase damage to foes by percentage and increase more based on Riko's speed and the number of intel stacks spent. If Riko's speed is above 100, increase damage by 1.05% for every 10 points of speed over 100. So I believe, optimally speaking, when we get her to max, I think it's 6.8% total. So that means we need to get her to about 170 speed to fully maximize, to fully maximize it. If not, we're kind of stuck at the 6%. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but 170 speed is kind of where you want to land. And even with her 5-star weapon, I'm only at 163. And her 5-star weapon, as we'll get into later, gives a lot of speed as compared to even her event weapon. But if you don't have either one of those, hitting that speed is so hard because her base 4-star weapon is pretty bad. And then her talent 1, Springtime Tempest, at the start of battle, if Riko's speed is above 100, it increases party's HP by 6, attack by 2, and defense by 2, up to 360 HP, 120 attack, and 120 defense. So 160 speed maximizes that amount. And restores 1 more, and then her Plum Blossom Glory Talent increases 1 more in all-out attack damage by 60%. So she is a all-out attack queen. Like, she just massively scales up. So that's why you'll see a lot of people saying, use her in Velvet Trials. Because she will massively help out with Velvet Trials. Like clearing it out, gaining that all-out attack damage. You'll see massive improvements. And then going over her awarenesses, her A0 is every 3 ally actions, inflict insight, which insight does increase damage taken by 6%, and when the target takes damage, Riko gains 2 intel stacks. When the target takes weakness damage or normal attacks, decrease down points by 1 and gain 1 more intel stack. And then it also inflicts insight, inflicts insight on the foe with the most down points, and when a foe with insight takes damage, it loses all insight stacks, and Riko gains intel. And then insight, I've already went over that. And then her A1 at the start of battle, inflict insight on the foe with the most down points. A2 after using Vertical Petal, so skill 3, inflict insight. This is a skill 1, skill 2 level up. This is whenever a ally uses highlight, inflict insight. So we can see a lot of the times what she revolves around is that insight to build up her intel stacks to fully maximize her skill 3. A5 is just a skill 3 level up. Lastly, A6. Riko, I won't be real. I'll keep it real with you guys. Pre-A6, Riko kind of sucks. Or I shouldn't say she sucks. It's just that A6 maximizes her. It brings out her full potential. Because what A6 does, if Riko's speed is above 100, when using Vertical Petals, decreases cooldown time for every 15 points of speed over 100 and up to 4 actions. So pre-A6, you would go you would go like starting rotation would be skill 1 into skill 3, and then you wait two entire rotations, which I'll show you guys later on what I'm talking about, because I have, as we can see here, I have her A1 on this account, but then on my TW account I have her A6. But basically A6 allows her to just do skill 1 to skill 3 every 4 ally actions, and then using Dreams Mist whenever it reaches 8 ally actions. So every 8 weakness, she will be doing it. So massive, 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 massive. So skill 1, skill 3, skill 1, skill 3 over and over and over again. But that's with A6. Pre A6, it's the same thing, but you have an entire rotation of nothing. Because as we can see here, the cooldown time is 8 ally actions. So 8 ally actions. With A6, this can go down to 4 ally actions instead. So that's when you can start spamming it out. And then with this new patch, we got some new cards. These are the new universe cards, or the planet cards, is what they're called. One is called Resolve. And what it does is when equipped by a Elucidator Phantom Thieves, after using a skill to inflict a debuff on a foe, decrease target's defense by 10%. So Riko definitely takes extreme advantage of this. And then we also got Integrity. And when equipped by Elucidator Phantom Thief at the start of battle, for each ally with a matching main attribute, increases party's max HP, attack, and defense by 2% more. So Integrity is definitely more geared towards using mono teams, while I can use, as we can see on my Riko, I'm using the other one. I'm using the, I think, what did I say, Resolve? Yeah, Resolve. Because with the new set, Labor, it increases max HP by 12%, as well as when equipped by an Elucidator Thief during battle, increase party's max HP by, increases party's max HP, attack, and defense by 8%. And then also with the Resolve, we also get the 10% defense down, which I like a lot. And since a lot of the times I'm going to be using Riko in a non-mono team, I'm not going to be using Integrity, I'm going to be using Resolve instead. And then when I'm looking at her stats, of course, we're always going to be having HP on Sun. We're looking to have attack on Moon. We're looking to either have crit multi, crit rate, or attack percent on my Star, whichever one has the best substats in my opinion. And then lastly, I'm looking to have speed on her Sky start. If you're not using speed on Sky, you're kind of trolling yourself, because you're not going to be able to hit that 160 speed that easily. Because then you're going to have to put everything into, well, you're going to have to put everything, you're basically going to have perfect speed stats on all of your substats, which is what I'm going to be talking about next. It's just the standard. You're looking to basically have as much speed as possible. Get yourself up to that 160 to 170 speed. 170 speed, I believe, is the maximum speed you want to take effect of when you fully rank up your skills. So with those +2s we get from her A3 and A5, but 160 speed is good enough in my opinion. You're missing out on very little. While then we're looking at crit rate plus crit multi being on the same, and then of course attack multi, pierce rate, and attack percent, and everything else after that. But mostly focus on your speed. And then lastly, her weapons. I'm gonna be real. Use the event weapon if you have it. If you have the event weapon, which is going on right now for the next 6 weeks, use it. It's good. It's fine. It just increases her. We look at Forge 6 because we get a free R6 for it. Increase speed by 8.5, and for each insight stack spent, randomly grant one of the following effects to the party. So attack buff, defense buff, or max HP buff, as well as gives a chance to give intel. Or you can use her 5-star weapon like I do, because I just use 5-star weapons. It's what I do. Because what it does is increase speed by 15 for every 2 insight stacks spent, and gain 2 intel stacks. Also, increase party's damage by 6% for every 1 turn, and increase max stacks of intel by to 11. And then lastly, when I'm looking at her actual 4-star weapon that we're going to be able to use the entire time, I'm going to be real, it kind of sucks. Her 4-star weapon, her base one, actually sucks. Because when I look at the R6, increase attack by 24% for each insight stack spent, permanently increase party's attack by 6.8%, stacks up to 5 times. It's just nowhere near as good as her event weapon or her 5-star weapon, so I would advise using those. Okay, when I use my Riko skill now, So I don't have 160 speed, unfortunately, on my Riko, because I don't have her event weapon or her 5-star weapon, so it's actually so hard to reach 160 speed. So we can see here, I now have 5-turn cooldown on it. And that's why having A6 matters so much more. Because of the fact that it reduces your skill, that cooldown from 8 to 4. And then we can start doing skill 1 into skill 3, skill 1 into skill 3, as compared to right now, where we have a 2-turn cooldown on being able to use it. So we have to go through two entire turn rotations before we can start using that skill again. We start using our skills and doing that skill 1 and skill 3 again. So that's why A6 matters. Actually, like, it's so impactful for Riko. If you don't have A6, she kind of sucks. I'm gonna be real. She kind of sucks, but pre A6. But I think that book covers everything I want to do today. I hope you guys have a good day, good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye for now.